Hi, this is Mark Stewart. Welcome back to another of my series on the long-term effects of bullying, how it can affect you and other adults years or even decades after you left the bullying behind. But even more importantly, how you can heal and move beyond the trauma to have the life you desire. This is a part of the promotion for my new book coming out in March, Names Will Hurt Me, Healing for Victims of Bullying. I can't hit everything in these short videos that I did in the book. There's just not enough time. I went in much more detail in the book, a lot of examples. And the last video was from a chapter in the book where I talked about the out-of-balance tires, the negative victim mentality, and how it can cause you to constantly be pulled off the road or fight to stay on the road. And it keeps you from succeeding. It keeps you perpetually feeling like you're a failure and you're going to be alone and all these things. But you don't have to stay there. This video is going to give you an overview of what a more balanced view looks like. And in the following video, I'm going to begin to tell you how to do that, how to make that happen. But first, you have to understand what a more balanced view is and what it looks like. So let's talk about the idea of balancing the tires, getting a better outlook. It simply means that you're going to have the victim mentality, however, tempered by reality. Face it, you're not going to be victorious every time in every situation. Things are going to happen. You're going to have failures. You're going to have setbacks. But it's overall a more positive victor mentality. You are going to be the victor more often than you're on the losing side of things. It is a better way of looking at life. You can choose your view of life. And this is mostly basically getting a more positive mindset. Again, not everything's going to be positive. If you just had a loved one die, you're going to hurt. If you lost a job that you didn't even know was coming, or even if you knew it was coming, it hurts. You're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to have pain. Life isn't always positive. But you don't have to stay there. Just like failure, you don't have to stay there. You get up over and over again until you succeed. You don't have to stay in the negative mindset. You can get back into a more balanced view. Let's talk about that more. Okay, first of all, let's talk about failures. I talked about in the last video that if you have a victim mindset and you fail, that automatically means in your mind that you are a failure. I've been there. One failure means I'm a failure, I'm done, I'll never succeed. That's what a victim mentality says. But the balanced view, of course, we can look at the other side, the victim mentality. Oh, that was somebody else's fault, I never fail. That's not reality either. But let's look at truth and reality and balance. Okay, first of all, you're going to fail. Things are going to happen. You're going to maybe start a new business and it doesn't work out. Maybe you try a new hobby and you just aren't good at that particular hobby. It's not your talent. I mean, nobody's good at everything. There's going to be things you're going to try, or maybe you try and you had the wrong approach and it's still the right thing, but you've just got to go at it a different way. Or you just have to get up and try again. There was one class that I've had to take multiple times as a student in order to pass. It just wasn't my thing. I struggled to get it the first time. Retook the class, flew through it. You're going to fail sometimes. It's going to happen. And when you fail, it's how you look at it. First of all, failures are seen, if you have a balanced view, as setbacks or roadblocks. That's all they are. They are simple roadblocks. You're on the road, you're going where you want, and suddenly you run into a roadblock, and you can't make any more forward momentum. You have to stop for a minute. Maybe a little longer than a minute, but you have to stop for a while. But that's what they are. They don't mean that your journey stopped there. It doesn't mean that you can't get back the car back on the road and begin moving forward again. It's a roadblock. It's not the end of your journey. Take that balanced view. Also a chance to learn and grow. I don't know about you, but I know I've learned a lot more from my failures than I have from my successes. Because when I fail, it forces me to go back to look at the situation, look at what I did, how I reacted, what I said, to evaluate why I failed, and then change it, try again, and succeed. Maybe I had to go through that process several times, but eventually, if I keep trying, I know I'm going to succeed. And failures help to keep you humble. If you never failed, have you ever known anyone who seemed like they were successful at everything? I've known a couple of those people, seemed like everything in life came easy to them. Some of them are okay to deal with. Some of them can be really difficult to deal with because they just don't understand why you fail and they don't struggle with that. I never liked that attitude. Everybody struggles with something. In fact, there's a famous saying, I can't seem to remember who it was who said, I believe it was Roy Clark, who basically said, everybody's ignorant, just on different subjects. Okay, we all have different gifts. Everybody's going to fail and everybody's going to succeed, but in different things. Maybe it's not your thing. Maybe it's just something you need to try again. But when you meet one of those people that, they don't understand why it comes so easy to them, well, it came easy to them, so you have to work at it. You might be better at it because you had to work at it, because you're going to learn more. And you're going to be able to help other people learn because you failed and you struggled. And then you succeeded. And they can see your story and it will inspire them to not give up. Look at failures as an opportunity to learn and grow as a person. Okay? Your internal dialogue will be more balanced. Remember I talked about that internal, everybody has an internal voice. We all carry conversations on in our head. And if you're a victim, if you fail, I'm a failure, I'm always going to be a failure. If you're alone right now, you don't have a romantic partner and you want one, I'll always be alone, I'll never be able to find anyone who loves me. That's the victim mentality, but that's not the balanced mentality. The balanced mentality is, overall, you're going to be positive. Like, if you are in a romantic relationship, great, I love this. Now look at the good things, they're temporary too. Eventually, they're not going to be in your life, whether by their choice, your choice, or even if you get married, long term they pass away. Nothing's permanent. Okay, eventually it's going to end. So just enjoy it. Revel in it, because everything's temporary. Yeah, the negative things are temporary, the positive things are temporary, so something new will come along that's positive. Nothing in life is permanent. That's that balanced view. It's not being so positive that you, this is going to be the way it is the rest of my life. No, everything changes. But enjoy the good things. Make the most, live in that moment. Carpe diem, seize that day. Have fun. Enjoy life. And when you hit the setbacks and you hit the failures, you hit the hard times, don't stay there. Yes, and allow yourself to go through the grieving process, have the pain, deal with the pain, but then get up and go on. Okay? And I'm going to give you a couple examples. The first one's Carol. Okay? She's a law school student. I worked at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, SIUC. SIUC is a big school. They have a pretty good sized law school. And I worked at the law library. That's how I got my master's degree, because it gave me some free tuition. And I was working there, and Carol was one of these people that was just so bright, and she brightened up a room when she walked in. Carol was also one of the top law students. She wasn't the top, but she was up in the top 10%. She was very bright. And I just really enjoyed talking to her. She always made me smile. She came in one day, and she looked kind of concerned, and I'm like, I almost, it's something you just didn't see on her face that often. You did sometimes. I'm like, Carol, what's going on? And she looked at me, and she kind of had that same funny look on her face, and she said, I locked my keys in my car. And then she kind of smiled. Now, before I give you her response, I want to tell you what my response would have been, where I was at when I had a victim mentality. If I locked my keys in my car, I'd be like, Mark, you're so stupid. You keep doing these stupid things. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't get over this crap. But that was not her response. Now, let me give you her response. Again, she kind of had that concerned look, but then she got a bit of a smile on her face, and she looked at me square in the eye. And she said, for a smart person, sometimes I do some really stupid things. Oh my God, what a difference. She, first of all, reaffirmed that she was actually an intelligent and smart person. But then she had that balanced view that sometimes she does some stupid things. Everybody makes mistakes. She didn't stay down and wallow in it. What she did was get a hold of somebody else who had a key to her car. Yeah, she was late for an appointment, and it was some frustrating, some stress, but she dealt with it. And then she got the keys to her car, and she went on with her day. It did not have to ruin her whole day, or her week, or her month. it was a little stumbling block, a roadblock. It stopped her forward momentum for a little bit, and then she started moving forward again. That's the difference. In my life, I thought I wanted to go into project management. When I was in graduate school, I started right before the dot-com burst happened, and I was in a mass communications program, but it was also called interactive multimedia. I was learning how to do graphic design, web design. I was using my photography skills and learning how to manage projects for web development, because that's what I was going to do. I was going to be a project manager on large web development projects. And then about 6 to 8 months before I graduated, the dot-com burst really took full effect, and suddenly those jobs didn't exist, or the ones that existed, because there's a lot of them that got lost. There was a lot of competition for those jobs. And here I am, fresh out of school, and no real experience other than what I had in the master's program. Nobody's going to hire me right out the door doing project management. And I took a job as a photographer at Winston-Salem State University. But they also gave me the opportunity to do some graphic design. I got to do some web programming. I got to do some project management. And as I did project management, I realized it wasn't what I wanted at the time, because project management meant I didn't get to be creative. It was all, guess what? Management. It was managing people, managing budgets, managing numbers. I didn't consider that fun at the time. It's not what I wanted to get my hands dirty. I really wanted to get in there and do things. I wanted to create things. I wanted to create graphics. I wanted to create words. I wanted to make things happen. And I felt as a management, when I did those little project management jobs, they put me in charge of something that I was spending all my time pushing paper. That was not what I wanted to do at the time. And now I'm actually doing more project management, and I'm at a place I enjoy it. But at the time, that wasn't what I wanted, and I'm glad I didn't get that opportunity. That's the difference. See, when I was younger, I would have looked at that and said, yeah, I managed to get the degree, but now I can't get a job doing what I want, and I'm a failure, and this whole thing was for nothing, it was useless. And sometimes I still struggle with those kinds of thoughts that just don't stay there. Because when I was unemployed, I've struggled with, well, the economy's changed and the jobs aren't as plentiful and there's a lot more competition and it kind of sucks. Well, yeah, it does kind of suck sometimes. But then I eventually got another job. Now I'm doing more project management. My job involves more writing and less graphic design, and I still have fun. I still enjoy what I do. And life is still good. It can be. And then I want to talk about the idea of humor in life. Because when you are more balanced in your view, when you have a more balanced view of life, you can see humor. My friend Shaun is a great example. This is what I'm going to end with. Shaun and his wife were going to have a baby, and she started having a lot of problems physically as they were heading closer and closer to her due date. And she spent a lot of time in the hospital. Now, not only did they both miss a lot of time at work, and he used all of his sick time, most of his vacation time. He was really struggling with, now he's not going to have any vacation. Insurance didn't pay everything. The bills are racking up. He's got in-laws breathing down his neck as to what are you guys going to do about this and what are you going to do about that. He's got his own family breathing down his neck. He's got the pressure that he feels on his own shoulders because he's going to be a father, and are they going to have a healthy baby? Is she going to survive this fully healthy? There was a lot of pressure on him. But Shaun also has a great sense of humor. He's even done stand-up comedy before on amateur night and just rocked the place. He's incredible. But he's able to see the flip side. No matter what's going on, he can eventually find something humorous. And there would be something silly that happened at a hospital while she's there. Maybe one of the nurses did something silly or something happened. He would always find some humor. And it kept him centered. It kept him from just completely losing it. A sense of humor is hard to have when you have a victim mentality because everything's negative. When you have a balanced mentality, you can see the whole picture. You see everything. You see the good, you see the bad. It's like a scale. You have the good stuff, you have the bad stuff. They're both there, but you see both. And because of that, you can then look at things and take a step back mentally. And he did. And he would say, oh, this was funny. Tell me what happened. And sometimes he came to me and went, Mark, could I just talk? I just really need to vent. And I would be there for him to vent and to get rid of his frustrations. And he's done that for me. But then there'd be times he'd come to me, You can't believe what happened. And he would be cracking up, and he'd have me laughing. In the middle of all this stuff, he's laughing. But it kept him centered, and it kept him positive. And now, that little girl was born, I think she's 4 now. And she's healthy, and they love her. They've now had a second child, and his wife didn't have near the challenges with the second pregnancy. They're great parents. And I see all that they do and all that they are. And they're a wonderful, loving family. You can have these things. You can have a better life. You can choose to not be stuck in that victim mentality. You can change that dialogue in your head. In the next video, I'm going to be talking to you about reprogramming your mind, or reprogramming your GPS, because your mind is like a GPS. It sets a course and it shows you where to turn, where to go. You don't have to stay in the negatives. You can have a positive outlook on life. You can have a balanced view on life. You can have success. You can get over the trauma from the past. You can have the life you desire. Hang in there with me. Thank you for watching this video.